Hey guys, welcome back to
Lifestyle
of the Plebe and Nameless. I'm Joan.
And I'm Coco. And this is Bunny! I startled her.
We are back again to do our reaction and review on episodes 6 and 7 of Snowdrop. If you like our series so far, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
It really helps encourage us to keep making these videos for you guys.
Let's first start with episode 6.
Episode 6 opens with the government leaders debating on Plan B.
So Plan B does turn out to be...
Kill everyone.
Yes.
But did kill everyone mean including the hostages? Because that's really savage. There's no way they would win the election if they end up killing 70 hostages.
On Suho's front, he and his comrades are leaving through that hut, and as soon as they get outside, they are surrounded by the operation forces. One of his comrades got shot in the leg, so they retreated back inside to the dorm. They found out that Black Tiger was leading the hostages trying to escape. So the evil comrade...
I call him the hothead comrade. He's a hothead.
He is. He gets so mad.
He just like goes off in a split second.
He does. He goes and attacks Black Tiger. Cafeteria lady all of a sudden comes out and starts crying.
And I was like, what is she doing?
She called Black Tiger her husband.
Yes! What? I was so confused.
She's definitely like an oddball. She seems kind of cuckoo, you know?
I was thinking, was she trying to help him? I think she was trying to diffuse the situation in the only way she knows how, which was in a crazy way.
It did diffuse the situation.
Because the hothead comrade, he looked at her like, what? He looked at her like how I would look at her.
Suho, he notices that Yoonro's hand was wounded.
Mm-hmm. What? He didn't do anything about it at that time.
Well, and then he did though.
He did eventually.
In the next scene, they go back and he's like, Yoonro, you need to bring the first aid kit and come with me to treat their wounds for the
nice comrade.
The nice comrade. And she was like, why me? Everyone's like, why her?
Yeah, me too. I'm like, you're making it obvious that she's the spy's pet. Because she gets singled out for all the good stuff.
They go and treat wounds for the nice comrade. And Yoonro's like, okay, I'm done here. I'm leaving. And he's like, no, you gotta stay.
Okay, like the fact that he kept jerking her around, it made me feel so bad. I kind of winced, like every time he would pull her every which way.
Eventually, he treats their wounds for her. And she's like, can you just let everyone go?
She pleads for their safety.
And he's like, I'm gonna let you go first so that we're even. But I was like, how can you even make this even?
Yes, when he said that though, Yoonro gave him that look like, so you don't care about me, you just see this as a business transaction. Like, I help you, you help me, and then that's it. We go on our separate ways.
But it's not even a fair transaction. Because he was the one that put her in this situation.
He created all this.
Yoonro goes back with her hands all patched up.
And everybody else is like, look at her hand. What? She even got it bandaged? They were all jealous.
He did care for her though.
I just don't know where this is going. He's cold one second and hot the next. I don't understand.
Back in the tent, they found out that the operation is not successful. Yoonro's dad's really worried about the hostages and his daughter in there, so he gives a call to Suho. He tells him that Professor Han is dead, and Suho is just like, what do I do now? Because my mission has failed.
Yeah, because he was supposed to bring Professor Han at all costs to North Korea.
He shares the news with his hothead comrade. The hothead comrade, he immediately goes straight into it, be like, we're gonna kill all these people and then we're gonna kill ourselves.
Be the suicide bombers.
Yes.
And be a martyr for our country. Because they don't even know who they can trust anymore.
Which in some way I do agree with the hothead, because there's multiple times where they were betrayed, like going out there and get the field phone and then they get shot.
Yeah.
And then going outside of that hut, they get shot again. You could kind of tell there's two perspectives portrayed in here, the way that the hothead thinks and then Suho's perspective. He's like, no, we gotta think of other solutions to this. We have to make it out alive. He's trying to think of other ways where they can kind of redeem themselves through this mission. The ultimate goal is to get the money, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Suho doesn't know about the money.
He doesn't?
He only knows what he's been told the mission was, which is bring Professor Han at all costs. He probably suspects there's money involved.
Because if there's money involved, there's other ways to get that money, even if Professor Han's done. The hothead thinks that if Suho's not willing to be a suicide bomber, then he must be not loyal to the party anymore and like decides to go against him.
Yeah.
And Suho has had enough with this hothead. He like directly shoots him to his bulletproof vest, of course. He's like, I'm gonna show you who's boss here.
Yeah, exactly.
I was hoping that he took him out for real because he's really messing up things.
You can't. Joan, there's only 3 of them and a bajillion South Korean KCIA agents. You can't just go around taking out whoever you want when you only got 3.
But he's there wasting bullets whenever their ammo's limited.
Yeah, all they have is that black bag of stuff.
So whenever this happens, the nice comrade, he falls to the ground. Soldier Boy and Exam Boy notice that his gun's there. Someone go take it. So you see the headmistress and the cafeteria lady eyeing that gun.
And the cafeteria lady goes for it.
She snatches it.
And she holds it up like she knows what she's doing. I'm like, okay, that's stance. She got that stance. She almost pulls the trigger and she goes, bang, bang, bang. And I was like, okay, this woman is a nut job. At first, we were wondering, is she a North Korean spy? Like, what is going on? Turns out she's just a nutcase.
I think she's pretending to be a nutcase. That act right there confirms that she is a communist spy.
What?
So,
I think she's just cuckoo.
Because with the first situation, she was de-escalating it. In the second situation, she was up there to grab that gun to make sure that nobody got it except for her. And how Suho was easily able to take it from her. Whenever I saw that, I was like, yes, she's definitely a communist spy. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so we'll see if Joan's right. She's been right about a lot of things so far, so okay, new perspective for me.
Suho's getting in touch with Youngro's dad again, telling him that we need to have a doctor to treat the wounds for his comrade.
Youngro's dad says, okay, will you release some hostages for the doctor? And Suho agrees, but he gives them a 20-minute limit to find a doctor. The only doctor they can find on such short notice is Nam, number 2 guy. He calls up his mistress. He's like, yo, baby, can you please come down? You're less than 10 minutes away, right? We need your help.
How could he do that? It's such a dangerous situation.
He only cares about winning the election, so he has his eyes on the prize. He tells her, come on, there are 3 spies in there, and I need you to take 2 of them out. So that Hana, who's going to go in with you, can take over, get the SWAT team in, and they can get the 3rd guy.
She says, no, I'm a doctor. I can't kill patients.
But I can put them to sleep.
Hana comes rushing, and she's like, what do you guys want me to do?
Well, at first they wanted her to be a nurse. And she's like, I can't do that. They know I'm a CIA agent.
They saw my face already.
Yes. And he was like, they couldn't have seen it that much. And she's like, no, I got in an altercation with them. They know my face.
She goes in as an agent instead, but before she goes in, she asks the doctor, hey, here's a gun. Are you able to put it in your kit? Find a good opportunity whenever you're treating Black Tiger to give the gun to him.
Which I thought was so stupid. That's gonna mess up everything. The chief told her, just go in and do this. And she's like, but I got nothing. And he's like, you've been in situations like this before.
Figure it out yourself.
Yeah, figure it out. And I guess her way of figuring out is sneaking the gun in. But hey, she gotta save her man.
While they're planning that, Suho calls the headmistress in. They sit down and have a conversation. Give me a list of names that you believe have to be released, whether they have like medical conditions.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of nice of him. Like, he actually cared to get the priority students out first. Because a ruthless hostage taker would just be like, okay, you go.
He's caring. He's nice. I mean, he didn't want to do this. He just had to. And they go back to the cafeteria and they start calling them one by one.
And it turns out all the girls in 207 gets called.
And everyone's like, this is rigged.
Yeah, there's an uproar about it. Phone lady.
She gets so mad.
She stands up.
She's like, what about us? Like, the non-university students.
And then you see the mechanic's son looking over. And he's interested in Phone Girl. He's like, ooh, she's sassy. I like that. To shut her up, Suho grabs the last paper that the headmistress was holding and hands it to Phone Girl.
Guess what? You were part of it too.
You would have been called if you would have just waited. There was one more name. So she shuts up. She's like, Oops.
She's like, man, my mouth. Should have kept it shut.
I was laughing so hard.
Me too!
Was I mean to be laughing at that?
No, I was laughing so hard
Does it
too.
make me a bad person?
I'm like, she deserved it.
She did deserve it. It's like the one time her selfishness gets her.
The headmistress is so mean to her in the earlier episodes, but like you could see that she sort of cared for her too.
Yeah.
She's like, she still has to take care of her family, so it's best if you let her go.
You can see the headmistress in this situation. She really is being selfless. She's acting with the best interest of everyone involved. So after that, Suho decides no one's leaving.
Meanwhile, the KCIA, they are drilling into basically every room, wiretapping the whole building. Hana and the doctor came inside the university under the guidance of the hothead comrade. Whenever they got to the cafeteria, Hana is counting the hostages to make sure that everyone's there, everyone's okay. The doctor is led to where the wounded comrade is. She made eye contact with Suho.
I was
There
like,
she goes.
Joan did make that prediction that there's something more to the doctor.
It was obvious that Suho recognized her.
And then Hana and the headmistress, they made eye contact too. They looked at each other, so I'm like, is there something going on with them?
More to be developed. Then we see Goro's stepmom. She is making a big and nice bento box type of style.
She's not making it. She's having the maid make it. But that made me so hungry. I was like, I want to eat
I was
that.
like, it looks so beautiful. Like,
Yes.
it's so nice. She calls the fortune teller again. The last time you mentioned the 13 virgins that have to be sacrificed, does it have to be exactly 13? No less, no more?
He didn't say like about a dozen or so.
She's just worried because you can't tell the communist people to kill like exactly 13. It's up to them how many they want to.
I was wondering why she was even asking, and she's making the food, and I was thinking, is she gonna poison the girls with the food?
Oh my god, that would be horrible.
Is she bringing the food to let them take it into the dorm because she knows they probably haven't eaten? So she's like, can I just take them all out? Does it have to be 13?
Her even asking that is pretty sick. I don't know how she's gonna do it though. They go back to the scene in the cafeteria. Hana was telling them, can we release some people?
So Suho decides, okay, I guess I will just pick some people at random this time.
A girl freaks out and she's like, like she can't breathe.
It's having like an asthma attack. So then another uproar. Everyone's like, I got asthma too. What about me? In the midst of this, Yunro freaks out as well.
She's like, why should you be the one that decides our fate?
Yeah, Yunro is like got the noble spirit, and she's like, let everyone else go.
Suho points a gun at her and she like walks towards him.
And she grabs his gun and pushes it down.
He's like, did you just do that?
Yeah.
How dare
like,
you?
She did not just do that to me. Does she know who I am?
He couldn't do anything back. I
Yeah,
it's
he
not,
can.
It's not like he can shoot her or anything.
He can shoot whoever. He's in charge. In order to control all the hostages, they should have just killed someone.
Oh my god.
Because that's how you shut them up. That's how this works.
So the hothead was right. The hothead knows how to handle it better than Suho
Yeah,
does.
you have to rule by fear in this situation.
So she comes close and she's like, do you know who I am? The head of the CIA is my dad. I'm his daughter. He kind of just looks at her in shock.
He's like, seriously? You this whole time? And then he gets his evil smile.
And that's how it ends. Whenever I saw that happen, I was like, what is he gonna do with this information?
Well, he's like, yes, she is my way out of here. Because her head is worth money.
I was thinking it could either be that or he could pretend that he didn't hear it.
No, why would he pretend he didn't hear it?
Oh no, to protect her even more.
No, he's gonna use this information to get out. As soon as she told him this, he's like, yep, we're gonna make it out alive. We're gonna use her to do it. And I'm like, why did Yunro tell him this?
She was wanting to do it so that everyone could be released except for her. She's like, I should be enough for your leverage.
I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. She should have stayed quiet. Would you have said anything?
Probably not.
No, I would have
Well,
been
first
like,
of all, I'm not as noble as her. I'm too scared.
I
I'm
would
not as
not
brave
have
as Young
said
Will.
anything. Throughout this whole hostage situation, we see how not to deal with hostage negotiations. The government leaders, they're just bickering the whole time. They can't agree on anything.
I bet the operation forces are so confused too, because like every 5 minutes they're getting a different order. It was funny though. It added some comic relief to this tense situation.
Episode 7 starts with Suho telling Yunro, you will never be released.
You're just a human shield.
When he said that, I was like,
I know, it broke my heart.
It broke Yoro's heart too. I was thinking, how can they come back from this?
I was like, you can't redeem yourself.
Right?
Anymore. And he literally does what he says. He pushes her to the window so that she's the human shield. He calls them headmistress and asks her about this situation. He says, you have the daughter of the head of the KCIA at your dorm.
How did I not know?
And the headmistress spills it all out.
She hid you when she thought you were just a protester. She got kicked out of the dorm for you. And this is how you repay her? You call her a human shield?
How dare you?
Take that back.
And on the other side, because the room is tapped, Youngro's dad and number 2 finds out. And number 2 blows up.
He's like, oh, espionage. You're never gonna be president now. They go running to where the snipers are, and her dad looks through the window and sees Youngro standing there. So sad.
That was so sad, because like her face, she's
and
just
his
like super
face.
scared. And she like notices that he's looking at her, and she like looks down.
Yeah, that made me cry. I was like, oh, it's like a father-daughter moment.
I know.
They never really had that in the show until then.
He for sure loves her.
Oh yeah, because he keeps her picture on his desk.
After the headmistress and Suho are finished with their conversation, she requests to go use the bathroom. And whenever she's in there, we find out that the thing that she taped around her legs was actually a radio.
Where does the radio go to?
I don't think it would be to the KCIA, because obviously they're already out there.
But the chief had mentioned something. He said we tortured her, we waterboarded her. So there's something going on. Maybe that radio is to them. And remember, they track her. The KCIA keeps an eye on her. There's something going on. We don't know yet.
Inside the cafeteria where the doctor's treating the wounds, she writes down on her arms saying that this place is wiretapped, and she shows that to Suho. That's whenever Suho knows they're listening all around.
He starts saying how there's bombs everywhere so that the KCIA agents think that there are bombs everywhere.
We see Youngro's stepmom heading to the tent, showing up with all of her food.
And I find out that she was not gonna poison them, thank goodness.
She's probably there for ulterior motives.
She wants to know how she can kill the 13 virgins.
And everyone's eating. Suddenly the news report comes up that Professor Han is dead, and the whole situation was actually a plan by the current government to win the election. Youngro's dad and the chief and number 2, they all freak out.
Number 2 guy is yelling at the chief, you need to make up evidence. You need to figure out how to squash this. Then the president, he calls the tent. He's like, you guys need to come up with a solution to this and report to me by 5 o'clock today.
Number 2 freaks out. He's like a kid. He's like, oh no, what do? We need to make up for this.
Yeah, I
How
don't
do
want
we
to get
do
a
this?
spanking. Yunro's stepmom had been listening. She walks in and she's like, I got a solution for you.
How about we just broadcast this situation to the media? Tell them the truth, because it's only 10 days before the election, and we just tell them that the North Koreans have taken this girl's university and holding everyone as hostage. So maybe if we give them the updates day by day, and we can show them that how we're gonna resolve this, the major population would be more inclined to vote for the current party.
I was thinking, okay, is that really a solution for that, what she's saying, or is that a solution for her to get the 13 girls dead? Because the longer they stay in there, the more likely that some girls will die. So she's just telling them this to get her way.
Back in the cafeteria, Singer Girls, all of a sudden, she's like, oh, I was supposed to go on a date with Antonio.
At 5 o'clock today. And then you see Exam Guy and Soldier Boy look over like, what? There's another one? How many does she have? And Protest Girl is like, well, what about these two?
Beer Girl's like, no, Exam Boy's not with her anymore.
Because that's her man now.
And Soldier Boy's just like silent.
He's like, I gave her the ring.
I thought that was, a nod.
Enough.
Yeah, Head Girl's like, oh, we have a final exam today. I hope they know of this hostage situation so it could be excused.
And I'm like, really? Okay, Hermione.
With the new plan that his wife came up with, Youngro's dad calls the North Korean leader. Is it okay if we kill your communist spies?
In exchange for $300 million.
Of course, Suho's dad flips out. He's like, no, you better keep him alive and bring him back to North Korea.
I actually thought he might consider that.
What?
Yeah, even though that's his son.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're kind of ruthless like that. And he's on the bubble right now with his committee. They could execute him.
After that phone call, Suho's dad leaves. The female counterpart, she was still there, calls back Youngro's dad. and be like, I'm in charge now.
And I agree to this deal.
Kill him.
Kill them all.
Give me the money.
Yeah, I want the 300 million.
Suho's dad's secretary was listening outside the door. She hurries to Suho's dad, tells him about it.
And then we see Suho's dad evil laughing. I'm so confused.
What is his ultimate goal? He definitely wants to have the money from South Korea, so maybe he's banking on both things to happen.
That they make it back alive?
And with the money?
How? How can that happen?
It's so weird.
If anybody understands what's going on in that part, leave us a comment and tell us.
Back at the university, the doctor is treating the wounds for Black Tiger, and this was like the opportunity for her to give him that gun that Hana had put in there. She has to like pretend that she wants to give it to him, but couldn't, so she goes back and forth, and the hothead comrade was looking at him. He's like, wait, something's not right, and checks her kit.
And pulls out the gun.
He's like, again?
Because the South Korea side keeps betraying the spies.
He basically grabs the doctor and beats her up.
Yeah, I felt so bad. You can hear her screaming in the background. I was like, oh my god.
I know. Suho all of a sudden comes.
With the stereo, with the music blaring, and everyone's like,
what the heck?
what is this disco music playing right now? And the KCIA in their tent, they're like, what is this music? Turn it down, turn it down. We can't hear anything.
It's so funny. Number 2, he says it like it's something they can control.
He acts like the agents can actually turn it off.
So he's blaring the music while the hothead guy's like beating her up. And Suho's like, no, stop it.
He hesitates, and that's when the snipers from outside shoots at him, and that starts a huge scuffle in front of the window.
And the gun falls to the floor. Youngro, she just picks it up shaking.
What is she gonna do with it?
It's like she has the gun now. And she points it at Suho. I was like, ooh, yes, you go, girl. I'm like, now you got the gun. He ain't pointing it at you anymore. You pointing it at him. And Suho's like, girl.
The hothead comrade, he immediately points his gun at the doctor. Black Tiger is like, look dude, you still have a comrade that needs surgery. You can't be killing this doctor because you're not gonna get another one.
The hothead comrade, he was like moving and shifting around, and there was a point where the agents outside, they looked through the window and he was like right within their target range, so they fired like a shot into the building again, and Suho was able to like pushes the gun out of her hands and then jumps on top of her just to shield her from the gunshots. Whenever that happened, the gun was sliding to the corner where the doctor was, and she picks up the gun and puts it in her pocket.
As Suho jumps on top of Youngro, the paper airplane falls out. Youngro sees it.
He had it this whole time.
And Youngro didn't even know he got it. She's like, how does he have this?
She believes that the drama world is unbelievable too.
She's like, does he really care about me?
Does that redeem the human shield?
No, I feel like at this point, it makes her even more conflicted.
She doesn't know what he's thinking. I bet he doesn't even know what he's thinking.
He's hot and he's cold and he's hot again, which is why I wore my shirt. 'Cause you're hot one side and you're cold the next.
He snatches it from her and like kind of crumbles it. He's like, you're not supposed to know about this. While this is happening, Hana turns off the volume on the stereo so that people on the other side can hear what's happening. She runs downstairs to complete her mission, which is to get rid of the booby traps.
So that the SWAT team can come in.
Suho notices that she's gone, so he chases her.
She's like, the SWAT team's coming in. You're backed into a corner. He kicks her out of the hut where the SWAT team's supposed to be. She's saying, okay, SWAT team, come in.
Come in.
And nobody comes in.
We got new orders, sorry.
Suho goes and makes a call to the KCIA agents again. And he says, I'm gonna pick a student to kill. Like, this is unforgivable. You guys have betrayed us how many times now? And number 2, he's like, okay, he definitely says student.
It's like, my mistress must be safe.
That's all he cares about.
Suho goes and debugs the whole place.
And number 2 and number 3 are both freaking out like, I can't hear anything.
We see that the doctor is tied up next to Youngro, and the doctor kind of gives Youngro a look. I'm confused. Like, why would she give her a look? Because she's the communist spy.
I don't get it either.
The hothead brings her to Suho.
That's when Suho reveals to the hothead that she's actually one of us.
And she's apparently a like
higher
high up
rank because Suho has to salute to her. And she says that she was sent here to ensure their safety back home. But I was thinking North Korea didn't send her to the school. Number 2 is the one who he needed a doctor, so he ended up calling her.
What if she received orders from Suho's dad?
Like to do what?
If she wasn't summoned by number 2, she would have found her own way in. Just my thought.
The doctor tells Suho, you need to go listen to the new instructions. And Suho's thinking, well, I don't know if I can trust the instructions anymore because last time we did that, we were betrayed. And the doctor chastises him, saying, you don't question the instructions. That's not your job. You're a spy. You're just supposed to follow orders. Like, is Suho no longer in charge? Because now she's in charge.
Because she's higher rank.
Yeah.
So they listened to the radio again, and the order was,
you will get out safely in 10 days. And I'm like, we have 10 more days of this hostage situation? Like, is this whole show gonna be in the dorm? I'm getting claustrophobic here. I need to go somewhere new.
That's so weird because they won't be out safe in 10 days. In 10 days, they will be killed.
What is each side's plan? Do both sides have the same plan? And poor Yumro, she basically spent the whole episode in front of the window.
I know.
And I'm thinking, poor girl, like, when was the last time she got to apply SPF? Like, that porcelain skin's gonna get ruined.
The headmistress tells Suho that everyone's been starving. Nobody has eaten in several days. So she's like, give us some food. And the cafeteria lady,
she
like,
pops up all happy.
I know, because that's her job. She knows how to cook.
I'm gonna make some rice balls.
After they made the food, Suho brings Youngro up and singles her out.
To go eat. She can't eat with everyone else. Youngro says, I thought I was just a human shield to you. Burn.
It's like, why do I have to eat?
Suho says, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me.
Youngro asks Suho about the plane.
Yeah.
She's like, how do you have it with you? And did you come back to the university for me?
He didn't come in because of her. She just thinks that he did. But really, he had no choice. He was stuck out in that hut with the KCI agents.
He didn't have a chance to respond anyways because that's whenever
the news comes on TV and Youngro finds out that her brother is now dead. That was so sad. That makes their relationship even more complicated because now Suho is related to her brother's death.
Even in the news report, they reported him and showed a picture of him too.
Is there any coming back from this for these two leads?
You know what was so sad? That scene ends and then they start playing this song. The lyrics talks about this whole situation a little bit. It says, wish we never saw, wish we never talked, wish I never met you.
Oh wow, those lyrics are kind of strong.
I know, I was trying to look up where that song comes from. I couldn't find it on Shazam. Maybe the next OST that's gonna be released. It speaks for Youngro.
Yeah.
She's like, wish I never met you.
Right. Because ever since I met you, only bad things have come to my life. I got kicked out of the dorm, my brother's dead, I'm now a hostage. I might get charged with espionage. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Because everyone kept changing their mind, first of all.
I was like, what exactly is gonna happen?
Those new orders from North Korea, do you believe they're gonna keep their promise? The spies will get out safe in 10 days?
I think that's what Suho's dad wants them to believe because he's the one that issued it. But at the end, whenever the news reported and it showed Suho's picture, that means that the whole South Korea knows about this situation and they know his face, which means the KCIA, under the pressure of the media, they have to capture him. They have to kill him regardless. Because people are not going to take it if you don't do anything about him and just let him go.
Youngro's dad finds out his son is dead. He's not gonna want to lose 2 children. That puts the price on her head even higher. That increases the chance for Suho to get out.
I do think that later on the 300 million is gonna come up again and it's gonna be in exchange for Youngro.
Also, did the doctor and Suho, did they have a relationship in the past? Because they keep looking at each other.
I feel like she probably has a crush on him, but he doesn't.
I feel like they used to date.
If you stayed with us till this point, make sure to leave a rice ball emoji.
Those look so yummy. I want to eat one.
And it's so cute.
Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed our reaction and review.
And make sure to subscribe to our channel to see more videos on Snowdrop reaction and review.
We would appreciate it so much. It really encourages us to make more videos.
And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you get all updates on our channel.
Follow us on Instagram at Pleb and Nameless to get exclusive Plebe content.
Thanks for watching. See you next time on
Lifestyle of the Plebe and Nameless. Bye!